I'm sure you guys have attended the part 1 and the part 2 of the webinar as well. So today we would be covering the report section and the data management tab. So I'll just quickly log into my account. So I'll just open a survey for which I have some responses. So I'll open this survey for which I have 103 responses. So this is a survey that I've designed, and a logic has been applied to the survey, a branching logic. It's for an ice cream and a cake company. So I have got 103 responses for this. So I'll show you guys how the reports look like and how to export the data. So we'll first cover the Manage Data tab, which is this one, and then the report section. So under the Manage Data tab, we have a couple of options. One is the Export tab, Import, Search, Responses, Scheduling, Location, Delete Data, Downloads, and Merge Data. So the first section that we are talking about, the Export tab, with this would help you to download the report, the raw data file, to an Excel format, or you can also make a PowerPoint presentation as well with the second option, which is there, Charts and Analytics Export. You can also download an SPSS file if you want to do any further analysis on the data that you have collected for the survey. If you want to do any further analysis on the data, you can simply save an SPSS file by using this third option. And if you want a SQL file to be downloaded and you want to pass it on to the development team, then you can use this particular option. And if you have some image and multimedia already attached to the survey that you have built, so right now the survey that I'm talking about doesn't have any image or multimedia attached to it, so this option is blank, so I cannot download this particular file. And the last option is XML data export. If I want an XML data file, then I'll use this option. So this option is also mainly used by the development team. So I'll first cover the first option, which is the raw data export. So I can see the couple of options over here. If I want to do the file format if I want it to be in the CSV format, I can do it from here. If I just want to have a Microsoft Excel format, I'll simply click the Microsoft Excel. So the second option is include open-ended text data. So this is mainly for the surveys for which we include, we have some open-ended questions. We have some comment box, some numeric input. So if you want to have that data which is input into that open-ended questions, then we have to turn this on. If we don't want that open-ended text which is in the survey, I can simply turn it off from here. The next is, if I want to include the whole raw data into the Excel file that I'm downloading, I'll just turn this on. Otherwise, I can simply turn this off. And the next option to this is display answer codes. So every answer that you have onto the survey has an answer code. So like you have two options for a question. One is male and the second one is female. So if people select male, that is your first option, then the answer code for that particular option would be 1. And if people select female, then the answer code for that particular question would be 2. So if you just select this in display answer codes, then you would be able to see the values assigned to it, 1 or a 2. It depends on the number of options that it lies on. The next option is display answer values. So if you simply want to display the answer which is there, like if you want to display male, if people have selected male over there, in the report that you would download, it would simply have male written over there. It would not have any answer code over there. If people select female, then female would be written over there in spite of the answer code which was there in the previous option. The next option is display question codes instead of text. So every question that you design on a survey has a question code. So if you want that code to be visible instead of the whole question written into the report, you can simply turn this on. And the next option is exclude content URLs. So this is basically for if you're asking people who are filling your survey, they are downloading some PDF file onto the survey that you have built. So that PDF file would have a link. So if you want to display that link into your report, you can simply turn this on. And the next option is include geocode and additional info. So if you want the geocode, this is basically if you want to have the country code, the longitude, latitude, and the city for the people who are answering your survey. If you want that information, you can simply turn this on, and you would have each and every information like the country code, the city code, longitude, and latitude of that particular person who has answered the survey for you. I can also add some data filters as well, the time and response status. You can see it over here. I can mention a start date and an end date. When I'm downloading a report, if I only want to have, suppose, responses filled on in 2016, 1st of January 2016 to 12th of December 2016. If I only want to have those many responses for this report that should be downloaded, I'll just mention that date. I'll show you how it looks like. So I'll just randomly select any date right now. Okay. And the next is the response status. So I have three options: started but not completed, the next is completed, and the third one is terminated or branching. So I can use any of these options. If I want to have only the responses only which are completed, I'll select this option and I will simply download the report from here. You just need to click on download and your report would be downloaded. You can see the progress bar over here. It's getting downloaded. So this is an Excel file with the raw data. I'll just enable the editing part. So this is the introduction to your survey, the survey name, the username, the options that I've used. And the second tab is overall statistics. How many people have completed it, how many people have started the survey, and how many people have viewed your survey. And the raw data like this. So this is on the basis of the filter that I've applied. I mentioned a date from the month of May to the 31st of May. Basis on that, this report has been prepared. So I only have these two things visible over here because I only have two responses filled in within this particular date that I've mentioned in the filter. So I would be able to know the response ID, IP address, from which IP address this particular responses were given, and I can also know the date and the time at which the survey was done. I can also know the time taken to complete this survey, and I would also be able to know the custom variables if there are any custom variables onto the survey. And I would also be able to know the respondent email address. If I've sent an email invitation, then I would also be able to know the respondent email address as well, the email list that I've used, and the country code, region, response. So I was talking about the longitude, latitude. See, I've added that into the filter, so I would be able to see the longitude, latitude, radius, and everything, and from which browser it has been done, I can see that as well. So the next option which is there, it's chart and analytics export, which is if you want to have a PowerPoint presentation, you can use this option. So the output format is you can have a PowerPoint presentation in PPTX and the earlier version of PowerPoint as well, which is the 2003 version PPT. If you want to have a Word doc file, you can have that as well. And if you want to have an Excel file, you can have that as well in the charts and analytics export. So I'll show you how the Word file looks like. Before that, I'll show you the PowerPoint presentation, how it would look like. I can choose any template from here as well. If I want to include any open-ended text data, I will simply turn this on. And if I want to have similarly data filters for the responses that I've collected, if I want to mention a start date and an end date for the responses that I've taken on a particular date, I can do it from here. If I want to have a response status, like I only want to have responses which are completed, so I can do it from here, the response status. If I want to filter some questions, I can turn this on and I can select some questions from the survey that I've designed. I'm simply turning this off and I'll just show you how the PowerPoint presentation looks like. I'll just download it. So guys, it's getting loading. So this is the PowerPoint presentation that has been downloaded. I can see the name of the survey, my username, and the survey overview as well, the completion rate and the dropout. And for each and every question that I have onto the survey, I have the graphs automatically prepared by a single click. So for every question I have graphs being made. This is on the data that has been collected. So similarly, if I want to have the Word file for this, you can simply download it. So this is a Word file that has been prepared. The charts that are prepared are not that good as compared to the PowerPoint presentation, but it still works. If I want to have it into the Microsoft Word format, so I can see each and everything over here. So the next thing is, if I want to have the charts and analytic export into the Excel format, I will just change the output format to Excel and I can simply download it. So this is the charts and analytics export for if I want to have an Excel format or the Excel file for this. So I have all the charts and every calculation on the Excel. Like this. So the next is SPSS. If I want to have an SPSS file, I'm sure you guys know, if you want to do any further analysis on the primary data that you collect through a survey, you can certainly use SPSS for any secondary analysis. So our software is compatible with SPSS. So you can simply download an SPSS file and you can simply have the data onto SPSS and you can further analyze it over there. So I have some options over here. If I want to include the raw data, I can turn it on, or otherwise I can turn it off as well. If I want to have the answer codes, the way I told you, I gave you the example in the raw data export. So if I just want to have the answer code, I'll just highlight this. If I want to have the answer values, I'll select the second option. So if the second thing is, if I want to display the question code instead of text, I can turn this on, and otherwise I can turn it off. If I want to include the open-ended text data, I can simply turn this on as well. Otherwise it can be turned off. So similarly, I can also apply the same data filters over here if I want to add a start date and the end date for the responses that I've collected. And similarly, I can add a response status as well, and I'll just download an SPSS file. I'll just check if I am able to open this file onto the system because I don't have the SPSS installed. It's taking some time, guys. In the meanwhile, do you guys have any questions? If you guys have any questions that you have in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any questions so far. If in any case, if anyone raises any kind of questions, I'll definitely unmute them, and I'll ask the questions and you can answer them. But so far we're good. We don't have any queries. All right, I
Sure.
think you should take it ahead. Okay.
No problem. Thank you. So I am able to open the report into the SPSS file as well, so I can use this data onto the SPSS for any further analysis. So the next option is SQL data export data file. As I told you guys, this, so if you want to have an SQL file to be downloaded for the data that you have collected, you can use this option. This would majorly be used by the development team. And the second option is image and multimedia export. I don't have any question which has the image or multimedia linked to it onto the survey, so that's why it says there's no file upload type questions in this survey. So if I have that, it will certainly show that question, and I can simply download the report for that particular question as well. The next option is XML data export. So if I want to have an XML data file, I can simply download it from here. I can mention some data filters, similarly the start date and end date, and the response date status, and this is also majorly used by the development team. So the next option is the import tab. So if we want to import an external data into the new survey that we have built, we can simply choose that file from here, and we can simply upload the data. So what we have to do is, first we have to download this sample Excel document, and we have to punch in the data, and then we can choose that particular file and upload it. So you guys can see these questions mark after every thing which is there, like import external data into new survey. So these are nothing but the help files. So whenever you think there's something that you don't know and how this thing should work, you can simply click on this question mark, and it will take you to the help file which is associated with it, and it will show you in detail how to go about it. So as I was telling you guys, you can simply download it. It shows you the same thing. You can download the sample Excel document, then you can punch in the data over there, then you can choose that file, and you can simply upload the data from there. So for everything that you have over there, if you go to the export tab as well, so you see these questions mark link. So anytime you feel like that you need some help, so you can click on this question mark, the help file associated with that particular thing would open up, and it will clear everything for you. So the next tab is the search tab. So this tab is basically for any open-ended text or the open-ended questions that we have used into the survey. So if we want to analyze a particular text or from the survey, if people have input that particular text, I can simply type in that and I can simply search the database. So I don't have open-ended questions onto this particular survey that I've built, so it would not work. So the next tab is the responses tab. So if I know a response ID for a particular respondent who has answered my survey, and if I want to search for that particular respondent, so I just have to enter the response ID. So this is where you find the response ID, IP address and everything. So I just have to punch in the response ID and I have to search the database. That particular respondent, what particularly he has responded to the question, you can see it from here. And before we move, before I show you about the survey result columns and everything, I'll just quickly show you this particular thing. When you go to the responses tab, you will be able to see the response ID, the IP address, the similar thing that we have that I've shown you in the raw data export as well. So you can see this online as well without downloading the report. You can see at what time and date the survey was answered, the time taken to complete the survey, and the customer variables. If I have sent an email invitation, I can have the email address as well. I can see the country code, the region, country, and everything, and the response status. So if I want to have, so the above filters that are there. So if I want to have the survey results which are listed below, if I just want to have results which are completed, the survey which people who have completed my survey, I can just simply highlight it. I can select completed. If I want to select start but not completed or terminated, it would only show me the the list which list of respondents who have completed my survey. If I'm selected completed. So I can also add some columns as well. If I want to add an email group code, if I want to add a region, country code, timestamp, time taken is already there. If I want to add a column which is duplicate, I can do it from here. Sort by column. If I want to sort the order from ascending to descending, I can do it from here. And now I'll just search for the results which are completed. So you can see I can only see the response ID which are completed. The response status is completed. So if I want to see a particular response for a person, if I want to see a particular user who has responded to my survey, I will just simply click on this response ID. And I can simply see his responses, what has he responded to all the questions that I've asked. So this is an important thing which is there. I can edit the response as well. If I'm seeing the response of a particular person, I can edit some of the responses into the questions that are built. The response that is being given by a respondent, I can edit that as well from here, edit response. If I want to have this individual report for this particular user who has responded to the survey, I can use this tab, individual report. And if I want to have a spotlight report, I can do it from here. If I want to mail this report to me or to anyone, I can use this tab, mail. If I want to print this, I can print it from here. So the next tab is scheduling. So this tab helps you in creating a on creating a scheduled report. So you will get a report on weekly basis, monthly basis, or annually. So depend on the filter that you apply. So you can do it from here, new auto scheduled report. So you can schedule your report on a specific date and time. So I can name this as test. If I want what kind of report that I'm looking for, I have a couple of options here. If I'm looking for an Excel raw data plus analytics, if I just want to have an Excel trend report, if I want to have an SPSS file, if I want to have a PowerPoint presentation, CSV raw data, HTML real-time text report, HTML real-time summary report, or if I want to have a custom report for the which would be scheduled automatically by the system. I'll use the default option, or I'll use the Excel trend report. I can set the frequency of the report from here. If I want to have it daily, I can do it from here, daily, or if I want to have it weekly or monthly, I can use any of these options. I'm selecting it to weekly, and I can select the day as well, on what particular day the report should be sent to me. I'll just take this as Wednesday. I can mention the time as well, and I can mention an end date as well. So this option is optional. So if I just want to have the reports coming to me on up till one particular date, I can mention that date, and after that I would not be sent the reports to my email address. And just below that, I can add some additional I can set the delivery mode as well, if I want to have an email report or if I want to have a FTP upload file. I can mention my email address, or I can send the report to my email address, or I can mention some multi-user accounts as well to my subordinates or to my colleagues, and the reports would be sent to them as well. I can mention the subject of the email that would be sent with the report. I can add a message as well, and I can create the scheduler event. So the next is the location tab. So this tab would only work for a question type that we have, which is the store locator. And if people are responding to that particular question onto a survey, then we can download a raw data file for that particular data that we have collected, that these many stores are very near to the consumer who would be shopping over there. So if we have designed a survey, suppose which store is near to you or which is the convenient store for you for shopping. So I can certainly, if I collect the responses for that particular question type, which is the store locator, then I can download the raw data for that particular question type from here. The next tab is the delete data. So the first option is clear all responses. If I click on this clear responses, so all the data that I've collected so far for the survey that I've built, so all the data would be erased. One more tab would appear. Are you sure you want to clear all the responses? If you hit on OK, it would permanently delete all the data that you have collected for the survey. So make sure if you are doing this, if you're using this option, make sure you have backed up all the data that you have collected, or you have downloaded any kind of a report like an Excel format or a PowerPoint presentation, and you don't need that data anymore. So you can certainly clear the responses from here. If you want to clear all the test responses, you can do it from the second option, clear responses, and it will clear all the test responses that you have generated. So the third option is the clear data log. As soon as you clear some responses from these options, you would see that log here at from which IP address and what time and date these responses were cleared. So you would be able to see that log from here. The next tab is the Downloads tab. So all the reports that you download for a particular survey, you would be able to see them over here. So I can, if I want to download any specific report that I've downloaded earlier, I can simply download it from here. You can see this blue link. I can click on it and I can open that file once again, which I've downloaded earlier. The next is merge data. So if I want to have if I want to have the data which I've already collected for an earlier survey that I've built, if I want to consolidate or if I want to club that data with the data that I've collected for this particular survey, I can select that survey from here and I can simply click on merge data, or I can also add some question mapping as well. I can add a specific question from that survey and I can add a custom variable from here and I can simply merge the data. So the next tab is the Reports tab. So this is the dashboard, how it looks like. So this is the report link. If you share this link with anyone who opens that link would be able to see the dashboard or the report section. So I have these options just below the link: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So I can share this report link through these mediums as well. If I want to download the report directly from here, I can do it from here. Excel data, CSV data, Microsoft Word, Excel with charts, PowerPoint, Adobe PDF and SPSS. If I want to directly download the report from here, which I just showed you in the main Manage Data tab, I can also do those things from here as well. So I can have the survey, if I just want to filter the data, I can have the system variable, the geolocation as well added up, or the device type, whether a person is using his smartphone and smartphone, iPad, or if he's using a laptop to answer my survey. If I want to have that information as well, I can do it from here. If I select the device type, if I want to know the date with what date it was answered, I can do it from here. If I want to know the survey status as well, I will just simply mention this. And the saved groupings. Saved groupings is nothing. If I've saved a filter to the survey, I've already created one. If you want to create a filter, you can simply create a filter from here, save filter. You can name it like I'm just naming it 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've added a filter. Before doing that, I can mention like filter data based on a question. I'm just selecting this question. Selected. And I'll just save the filter from here. I'll just name this as 1364 and so my filter has been saved. So if I go to the same option, so if you come to this option which is saved groupings, you can see I have these 3 saved groupings which are just saved: 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 3, 6, 4. The filter that I just applied, I'll just use this and it will give me a link for that particular report as well. I can simply copy it from here. I can reset the filter from here. I can manage the filter from here, the second tab. If I want to have the report settings, I'll use this tab, report settings. I can include a world map. We have 3 other different kinds of map which I can use. I can use Europe, US or Canada onto the reports tab. If I want to have a word cloud listed over there, I will just turn this on. And the third option is time series. So time series is nothing. If I want to know the frequency of the responses that I've been receiving at a particular date or at a particular time. So I'll just turn this on. I'll show you guys how it looks like. If I want to know the device data, what kind of a device is being used to answer the survey that I've passed, I'll use this. If I want to show, if I want to have the statistics like mean, median, I'll use this option, show statistics. If I want to have the display question numbers, I can just turn this on. If I want to show the statistical calculations, I can turn this on as well. Mean, median, and standard deviation. I'll just turn this on. If I want to show if I don't want to have the charts over there into the report section, I'll just turn this off. If I want to have the answer options data table, I'll turn this on. Otherwise, I can turn it off as well. So the next option is show answer options with no data. I can turn this on or I can turn this off. If I turn this off, then I will be able to see the data as well with the answer. If I want to include the text questions, the text questions onto the report, then I can turn this on, or otherwise I can turn it off. I would not be able to see the whole question which was asked into the survey. I can also include the presentation text that I've used for just above the questions. If I turn this on, I will be able to see the presentation text as well. Question display, I can display all the questions or some selected questions from the survey. So I can, if I select this selected questions, I can simply select it, the questions that I want to have into the report like this. I can have the answer options display, like if I have like 5 to 6 options or 10 options. If I only want to display till 5 options, I can select a number from here, or I can certainly select all. If I want to have an answer sort order into the ascending or descending order, I can do it from here. And I can simply save the settings from here. So I can see a world map over here. You can see India is highlighted. So I've got each and every response from India. That's why it's highlighted. I would be able to see how many people have viewed my survey, how many people have started it, how many people completed it, the completion rate, dropouts, and the average completion time. So this is on the basis of the settings that I've just made, the filters that I've just applied. I can also know whether the survey was answered from a desktop, laptop, or smartphone or tablet. So this is this time series that I was talking about. So I can simply see on June 2016, I got the maximum responses, and after that the graph is falling down. I don't have any responses after that. So I do have some responses on October 2016 as well. So this is the response count timeline. So this, for every question, you can see with the calculation, mean, standard deviation, standard error. I do have a chart as well. I can change the chart type from here. I can change it to column chart. I can change it to bar chart, or I can change it to line chart as well from here. If I want to now download this particular report for this particular question, I can simply do it from here, download options. If I want to have an Excel file, I'll use this option. If I want to have a trend data, or if I want to have a banner table or cross table, I can do it from here. I can also share this report or the data that I've just collected from this option, share. Coming back to the next tab, which is title and logo. If I want to add a title and a logo to the report that I have, I'll just add it. I can add a title from here. I can add some summary which would be visible over there. If I want to add a logo, I'll just simply upload an image from my computer from here, upload image, and I'll select that and I'll save the changes, and that particular logo would be visible with the summary and the title onto the report section. I can also customize the theme from here. I can change the font. I can change it to Verdana. I can change the question text. I can change the color of it from here. The background, probably this one. And the table highlight as well. Save changes. So based on to the filters that I've applied, it has changed. So I also have sharing options, which is the next tab. So if I want to enable the report sharing, I'll just turn this on. So I'll give you an example. The link that I was talking about, the report link tab, if I'll just simply copy it, or if someone knows this particular link, he can simply place that link onto the browser and he can open it, and he would be able to see the report on his computer. So if I want to disable it, if I don't want that people should be able to open my report, I'll just simply turn this off, save it. Now, if someone is punching in the link for the report tab, so he would see a message, the owner of the survey has not made the result public. I can make this password protected as well under the sharing options. I can turn this on. I can enable a password. Password can be 1234 or anything that you would like to have. Now, if I try to open this report onto the browser with the link, it would ask me for a password. I'll just enter the password. If I enter a wrong password over there, so it says invalid password. Now I'll just see. Now I'm able to see the reports with the correct password. So the next tab under the reports section is the advanced tab. So under the advanced tab, the first thing is the cross tabulation. So under the cross tabulation, I can simply select a pivot question from the survey. That can be, I'm just randomly adding one question for you. So I can also add a pivot question too, which is optional. You can add it. I will also have to add a filter question if I want to create a cross tab. I'm using this. So I can also change the output. If I want to have into HTML, I can use it, the HTML thing, or if I want to have an Excel output, I can do it from here. If I select Excel, it would give me the display options. I can simply use the data table plus charts or the data table only. I can also specify the chart types from here. If I just want to have a column chart or a bar chart. Now we'll just create an online cross tab from this option. So banner table is being prepared. Okay, I just have to increase the size of the chart so that you would be able to see it. So you can see with the questions that I've selected, I have the calculations for that, the mean, and the chart, which is the banner table. It's being prepared by a simple click. The second thing is, if I want to have an HTML file, if I just want to see the crosstab online, if I don't want to download a report, I'll use the HTML output. So you can see for the question that I've selected with the calculations, I have created an online crosstab. So I do have the mean, standard deviation, chi-square value as well. If I want to create a banner table from here, from the second option, I can add the pivot question here. I can also add a secondary pivot. I can add a nested pivot as well, which is option. I can add a filter request result as well. Like I only want to have responses from a survey which has been completed, or from a survey which is started but not completed, or the terminated one. I can do it from here. I can add the filter question from here. If I can change the output format from here. Display options, if I just want to have a data table only, if I just want to have a data table plus charts plus me, I can use this option and create banner table. So based on the filters that I've applied and the questions that I've selected, it has downloaded an Excel file. So this is the banner table that has been prepared. So the next thing is data segmentation. Just 1 second. Okay. So under the data segmentation, there are some data filters that are already applied, started but not completed, completed, terminated via branching. So I can have the reports options from here. I can see the dashboard directly from here. If I just want to see the report for the people who have started the survey but has not completed the survey, if I want to see that dashboard, I can do it from here. If I want to see the text report, I can do it from the second option. Similarly, for the second thing as well, if I just want to see the dashboard for the people who have just completed the survey, I can use this option, second option. And similarly for the terminated one as well. I can also add a new data filter as well. I can name that filter like 456 survey status. I can mention the survey status completed, terminated, or started, and I can select the responses to the survey question. I can select any question from the survey. If yes is selected, and the second is I can also add a response date range, from what date to what date I would require the dashboard of that particular question that I am looking for. And the third option, if I want to add some system variable or a geolocation, geotag, if I want to add some custom variables, if I want to add a geolocation filter like country code, city code, longitude, latitude, I can do it from here, the third option, and I can simply save the filter from here. So with this, as soon as I make a data filter, if I apply that, I will be able to see a dashboard based on to the filter that I've applied, and I can see the data segmented based on on the filters. The second thing is under the reports tab, survey comparison. So this option is very useful if you want to compare two surveys. So the only catch is the surveys should be structured in a similar manner. So it should have a similar structure. Then you can compare the data of the two surveys. You can compare two surveys from the system, from the account that you have made. You can compare two survey that you have prepared under your account using this option, survey comparison. So, and you can also add a new data comparison report from here. So you can mention the comparison report name here. You can compare the survey, this current survey that we are running on, with any of the survey that you already have onto the survey. You select that, click on save comparison report, and you'll be able to see, you will be able to compare the two surveys that are there with the current survey. So the next tab is trend analysis. So if I want to know a trend for the survey that I've prepared, if I want to know the trend of what kind of a trend is being shown, I'll use this option, trend analysis. I can mention a filter result as well. If I just want to have the responses which are just completed, if I want to mention a start date and an end date as well, frequency, I can set the frequency from here, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. And if I just want to have default / percentages, if I just want to have detailed statistics, mean, standard deviation, and confidence interval, I can use this option. And I can simply download a trend report. So I'll show you guys how the trend report looks like. So this is the trend report based onto the filters that I've applied. I can see the mean, standard deviation, and everything. The next tab is the trend dashboard. So I can also see the dashboard onto the trend dashboard. If I just want to see the trend dashboard, I can see it from here. So this is similar to the dashboard that I showed you earlier, with few limitations. So you would have each and every question with which would be the trend dashboard over on this particular tab. The next tab is the correlation analysis. I'll show you that as well. So if I want to generate a Spearman coefficient, I'll use this correlation analysis. I can certainly select any two questions from the survey, or probably this one. I can also correlate all the questions from the survey, and I can generate a Spearman coefficient. First, I will just compare two questions from the survey, and you can see with the Spearman coefficient values for the questions that I've selected, I can see the values over here. If I want to correlate all the questions, I'll just turn this on and I'll just generate a Spearman coefficient. For each and every question that I have onto the survey, I have the value calculated automatically. So the next tab is the weighing and balancing tab. So if I just want to set up a weight, I will have all the questions listed over here, all the questions that I've designed onto a particular survey. I can assign some weights to the options that I have over there. So the total should be 100. So like if I just want to have 60% yes for this particular question, I'll just mention 60. And if I just want to have 40% for this particular question, and I can just update or save it from here. So it would only accept those many responses for that particular question onto a survey if I set up a weight from here. Now we'll quickly move on to the next tab. So the next option is the conjoint analysis and the max-diff analysis. I'm sure in the part 1 of the webinar you guys have seen the question types that are available on QuestionPro. We have the conjoint question type and the max-diff question type as well, the most and the least preferred option, and the conjoint analysis. So these two analyses would only work if you have a questionnaire which is built on the conjoint question type, or if it's made on the max-diff question type. So these analyses would only work then. I do have a conjoint question type which I've designed. I'll show you how the analysis look like. Give me a second. So this is the conjoint questionnaire that I've made. I've got 100 responses for this. I don't have any questionnaire that I've prepared for the max-diff analysis, max-diff question type. So I won't be able to show you that, but I can certainly show you this particular analysis, conjoint analysis. So for this particular question type, you can see these attributes. You can see the attribute, importance, level, utility, and value for every question, for the question that I've built. Attribute importance, if I want to have the profiles, I can certainly use this, the second tab. Market share simulation from the third tab. I can run a simulation, or I can have an Excel report prepared from here. Run a simulation. So you would see the vote count, what would be the market share by just running a simulation. You can also see the brand premium, the price elasticity, and this is a questionnaire that I've designed for different airlines which are there. What kind of airline would a person prefer? So I'll just quickly move on to the survey that we were on. So similarly, you can run a max-diff analysis on the max-diff question type from here. The next is the open-ended text tab. So this is mainly for the open-ended questions that you use onto the survey. I don't have any open-ended questions on this survey, so that's why I am not able to see anything over here. And for the open-ended text report, I can simply copy this link, or I can share this link with anyone, and people would be able to see the report based on to the open-ended text that we receive. I can turn that report sharing off from here. Turn off. You can see this tab. The next thing that we have is the text analysis. So you can see this text. There are no open-ended text questions in this survey, so please choose a survey that has at least one open-ended question. Then only if you select a survey which has open-ended questions on it and you collect some responses on that, then you would be able to use this text analysis tab. If you just want to have some idea about it, you can certainly open the help file. And this particular thing would not be available would only be available with the enterprise edition, so you guys would not be able to use it, the text analysis tab. Similarly, for the word cloud tab which is there, this is also being used by the enterprise edition or the corporate edition to analyze a particular word onto a survey. You can also mention some stop buttons onto the survey. As soon as you mention those words onto a survey, it would not accept any input. And with the color codes, so it appears like this. So if you open this particular help file, you would be able to see the text would be, if you are doing it for a website, and if people are adding up open-ended text for, I would say, if a question is like, how satisfied are you with a website? So I would have random comments, not satisfied, satisfied, it's pathetic. So I will be able to see those keywords with the color codes and I can analyze it with the word cloud from here. So we are almost done here. We are just left with the customized reports and the consolidated report. I'll just show you how the customized reports look like. I can create a customized report from this tab, customized report. Create new customized report. I can mention a customized report title. That can be logic. The report, under the report type, I can have all the questions. I can only pick up the questions which just have numeric or analytic questions, or I can only pick up open-ended text question. Just taking all questions. I can add few data filters as well. Can only have surveys which are started, completed, or terminated, or I can have them all. And I can simply go to next, executive summary, and I can simply finish it from here. If I want to have a consolidated report, I can do it from here. So consolidate report is nothing like if you want to club your current report with an existing report that you already have for the other survey that you have prepared under your account. Like I have these many surveys prepared under my account, I can simply select any one of these survey and I can run a consolidated report. So it would club both the reports and I would be able to see one report on my system. So the only catch is both the surveys should be structured in a similar manner. They should have a similar structure. Then you would be able to analyze the report in a better way as well. So I am done over here. Is there anything that you guys have in mind? Any questions that you have so far? I'm sure Garima is taking care of all the questions that are being asked.
Yeah, hi Vikram. No, actually we don't have any questions, and all the questions that were asked were answered by me, and no
Okay.
questions so far, but I think we are done with the session, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so guys, if any of your friends couldn't attend the webinar for today, kindly suggest them and ask them to attend the webinar tomorrow. We'll be conducting the very same webinar again tomorrow for the people who were unavailable today. And I think that's all. Guys, if you have any further queries after this session, you can just simply write to us on edu-india@questionpro.com. All right, I'll repeat it, edu-india@questionpro.com. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Vikram, for conducting this informative webinar. Okay.
Thank
Good night, guys.
you.
Good
Okay.
night, Vikram.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.